AI in advertising isn't the future, it's here right now. And most people don't even know how fast the landscape is changing. Some of these ads were made by huge brands, some of them by a single creator, and some to scam people. Today, we're looking at 5 AI ads. I'll be reviewing them and breaking them down to give you lessons that as a founder, marketer, or content creator, you must know to stay relevant. Whether you love or hate AI, you must know what's happening. Because if you don't know how AI is reshaping the world of advertising, someone who does will surpass you. With that said, let's take a look at the first one by original source, Nature Hits Different.
Someone needs a hit of original source. Supercharge your day with the 100% natural fragrance of original source. Original source. Nature hits different.
Cool. So in case it wasn't obvious, not the entire ad was AI. You'll notice that the beginning is real, the middle where things go all crazy and almost psychedelic, that part's of course AI, and the end goes back to real footage again. And honestly, in my view, I think this is one of the ways AI should be used. Not as a gimmick, not to say we used AI, but for a legitimate reason. Where this brand, they're doing quite well, but they're not like a huge brand, right? So the middle part would have probably cost them 100 times more to make through like a visual effects company or something like that, and they wouldn't be able to do that. So they found a solution in AI that has a purpose and a reason behind it. Now, it's certainly not perfect. Some shots look incredible, whilst others, they start drifting into that weird uncanny valley look. Faces start shifting, things start morphing in a strange way. It gets that odd, fuzzy AI look that we're all familiar with at this point. So there's actually a technical reason for that. AI requires what's called a startup frame, which essentially is like a reference image. You tell it, look, this is what I want you to replicate. This is what the guy looks like. This is what the lighting looks like. This is what the environment looks like. And I want you to take from this when you make your next image. And so it's going to do a relatively good job. However, the issue comes with the next AI video because it's going to take from the previous video, which was made by AI. So it's no longer based on reality or real footage. So it's going to look just a little bit worse. The fidelity is not going to look quite as good. And so you'll notice by the time it gets to the water scene, things have started falling apart. Then during the final scene, when he starts flying, you'll notice he has like 3 or 4 different faces during that flight. I suspect it may be because they were trying to correct the face during, so that's why. The starting frame was based on reality. By the time it gets to the end, it's deteriorated. Anyways, one great lesson to take away for founders, marketers, or if you're a content creator. So AI is fantastic for transitions between 2 different shots. Whether those shots are from real footage to AI, from AI to AI, from real footage to real footage, it's great at making a really cool transition in between that probably would have been way more difficult to do through visual effects. Okay, let's take a look at one of the main reasons I actually wanted to make this video, which was the new Coca Cola Christmas ad. So last year they infamously made a really disliked and hated AI ad. What did they decide to do this year? The same thing again. So bold strategy. Let's take a look. Okay, let me be clear. I am not an AI hater or against the use of AI in videos or ads, but this one right here is, in my view, a big blunder for several reasons that I'll get into now. Visually, it's done a better job than the one last year because I'm sure they learned some things and AI has progressed since then. However, it continues to suffer from the same issue. It is cold and soulless. So as you might have noticed, this year they avoided using humans because humans can very easily give that uncanny valley vibe. However, as much as they've tried, a lot of it still has that AI look to it that's so easily recognizable. Now, honestly, AI can do a fantastic job of landscape, so some of the shots with the truck look very convincing in my view. If that would have been blended with some real footage of humans and people interacting and real warmth, I'll tell you what, I don't think anyone would have cared or noticed. But they decided to go fully synthetic again. People also noticed some inconsistencies online, with the wheels changing size, switching positions, or totally disappearing, or the truck changing in length. When your ad starts looking like a fever dream, you know something went wrong. But that's not all. The BTS dropped, and this is where I really had to pause.
Hello friends, today we are going to look at something very special because, you know, they're coming, the holidays.
Welcome to the making of the Coca Cola 2025 Holidays Are Coming ad.
It really feels like this work is, actively shaping how storytelling is evolving. It shows Coca Cola really reimagining the creative workflow, especially in this AI era.
The big question is probably how a tiny team, like 5 specialists, how they managed to churn out and carefully refine over 70,000 video clips.
70,000.
In just 30 days. That level of precision suggests the team had to go way beyond just simple prompting.
Yeah.
Shaping the animals, getting the texture right, those big sparkly eyes.
Exactly.
So they made a behind the scenes where 2 AI voices are pretending to have a human conversation together. It's so out of touch. It just feels so surreal. Like one AI voice explaining a thing, and she's like, yeah, totally. And it's like, you're not humans. You don't need to react to one another. You're 2 AI voices. This is the perfect example of AI for the sake of it and not to improve anything. So these are the points that really make it tone deaf. They brag about that the whole team was only 5 people. Do they not realize that one of people's biggest issues with AI is job displacement, where a project like this probably would have been over 100 people, and they are bragging about taking out that many people, bringing it down to only 5? That's not what people want to hear right now. Now, to be fair, it's clear that it took a lot of work. AI doesn't just make production painless magically. But my question is this: why make a fully AI ad when you absolutely don't need to? Coca Cola has unlimited budget, and they have access to the best talent. They have access to the best directors, the best visual artists. There is no lack of access for them to any of it. It's not like they're an up-and-coming startup trying to save money here. At the very least, if they were insistent on using AI, I think they should have used shots with real human beings in them, because last time I checked, they're selling to people, not polar bears, not penguins, right? Now, let's talk about another ethically and morally complicated topic: AI influencers and AI UGC, user-generated content. Here's 2 examples of the kind of thing I'm referring to.
Okay, real talk right now. If you actually want to see results and stay consistent, this calorie tracking app, it's a total game changer. Every single day, I log my meals, track my macros, and it keeps me so...
Okay, Goalie just made gut health stupid easy. This little thing has prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics all in one. My digestion feels smoother, my bloating went down, and honestly, I'm obsessed. If your stomach's been annoying you, try this.
Honestly, these are extremely convincing, especially if you were just scrolling on social media unassumingly. You wouldn't question whether or not those were real. So, is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Honestly, a lot of it is just dependent on your own morality, but here's where I think the line should be drawn and what's acceptable and what's deceptive. I think if the content is about software or editing tutorials or crypto or anything of that nature, using an AI face is fine. Yes, a real human job was taken, given to a non-human. However, I feel like that's a battle that we're just not gonna win. And especially the more it develops, you simply won't even be able to tell that it's not a human. Another instance I think it's okay to use an AI avatar is when you're not trying to deceive someone that it's a real human, and so it might be ultra stylized, and so it's clear that you're not pretending and you're not attempting to deceive. AI used to make a character is totally different from AI used to pretend to be a human. Now here's where I think that AI influencers / AI UGC becomes unethical. Beauty, skincare, body care, this is simply not acceptable. People want to see the effect that the product has on a real human so that they can imagine it on themselves. So using an AI influencer or avatar in this case is not innovation, it's just deception. Any emotional or vulnerable content. If you're making content about mental health or heartbreak or any sort of human struggle or vulnerability, then an AI generated face, pretending to feel human emotions, it just doesn't seem right. It becomes uncanny, calculated, and just manipulative. Lastly, diversity representation. Because at this point, it just becomes ironic, right? If you're showing diverse AI faces, you're not even including real people, let alone being inclusive of a subsect of people. Nobody gets represented because nobody was actually shown. So it just becomes a surface level diversity with no real humans behind it. The thing about using AI influencers or AI UGC is that it's not just a technical shift, it's also a trust shift. If your audience doesn't feel like they're watching a real human or they're being deceived, then they're simply going to drop their trust. And influencers is all about having people's trust. So if there's no trust, then there's no influence. That's why marketers and founders need to be careful when using AI influencers or AI UGC. There are times it could make sense, but there are times it could damage your credibility. Next up, these short AI videos started going viral, mainly because of how impressive they were. And we'll take a look at one of the more popular ones.
Open it, live it.
By the way, that's not an official IKEA ad, that's a spec ad made by one person. Honestly, some parts of this are very impressive. The way the box opens, the way everything distributes in the right place and sits neatly, the way it recognizes the materials of things and the weight of things and the way things wiggle when they land. It's all quite cool. Of course, it has its flaws. The sound, frankly, not so good. It has that synthetic AI whoosh and strange AI noises that again have become recognizable at this point. If I were to make this, I would absolutely get a sound designer to make custom sounds for it. I think just sound design alone could improve this by like 50%. Another pretty major issue here is that things just disappear into thin air. They just pop out of existence and your brain probably notices it even if you try to ignore it. Now there are some that might say, oh, who cares, those are like minor details, like it still looks pretty good. In my world and in the world of professional advertising, these sorts of details are very major. They're very important, and that's why AI for a while could not be in the real world of advertising because of these flaws that are majorly important. Regardless, pretty cool ad, but here are some of the major takeaways that I want you to take, which is that it's not good because of the use of AI, it's because the creator had a cool and simple idea that was executed well. So here's how I'd like you to think of AI moving forward. Allow me to share with you the future of visuals. We will no longer be impressed with good-looking visuals because AI is going to make it easier to make, especially with all these new innovations and the new things that Adobe is coming out with. Everyone is going to have the ability to make really incredible looking shots, which means only one thing will remain that will matter at that point: the idea, the concept, the creativity. A strong director or creative or strategist will always need to be involved, because AI can help you create something, but it will not create something good on its own. It can only help you execute it. So in this case, AI was used as a tool to bring to life this cool idea. Had the idea not been cool, then the generation would have been pretty boring as well. Now let's talk about the darker, or I would even say sillier side of AI ads, which are the straight up scams. And we'll take a look at 2 examples.
This little thing helped me more than my last therapy session. It's called the Pandy, a lifelike plush toy designed and powered by AI. It makes you feel loved, supported, and helps during tough times. The Pandy uses AI-powered motion sensors that gently react to your touch. So when you cuddle it, it actually cuddles back. It's the kind of gift your girlfriend would love you for, and your little ones wouldn't stop hugging. The brand is so confident you will fall in love with the Pandy. They will refund you 100% of your money if you don't. So click shop now and thank me later.
I've totally fallen in love with this mineral crystal coffee mug. Every morning, I pour in hot coffee and just watch the light shine through the cup. It's so soothing. Having a beautiful mug really makes mornings feel so romantic. What do you think? Tell me in the comments if you love it.
I mean, I'm not going to deeply analyze these videos right here. They're obviously all over the place. Clearly zero thought was put into it, just different shots generated, put together, and called it a day. These types of ads are a huge reason as to why people have developed such hostility towards AI use in advertising in general. And the reason is because they're created for really one purpose, and it's to deceive those who are most vulnerable and easiest to trick. Here's the real issue. When people see this low grade level AI usage to deceive people, people will continue that association that anytime that AI is used in an ad, there's got to be some sort of low effort, low quality, and deception involved. You could be a brand as big as Coca Cola, and if people still detect that there's too much use of AI, your credibility takes a hit. Just keep these few things in mind whenever you're considering the usage of AI. Use AI when it makes sense. Use it with some sort of intention rather than just for the sake of it. And respect your audience. People are intelligent. They can tell when you put care into something, and they can tell when corners were cut. AI isn't the future, it's here and it's now. It's made workflows easier and it's an insanely powerful tool, but just remember you must maintain the sanctity of human connection in your work. Speaking of controversy, would you like to see a video where brands used really risky strategies that divided the world and yet they still achieved incredible results? Well, click on the video on the screen right now. I break down 5 controversial ads and tell you exactly what you can learn and steal from them today.